Hey, this is the Church Growth Guy coming to you in the midst of the coronavirus, our lockdown. Yes, if you are a pastor, if you're a leader, your church is in the midst of a lockdown. That means you're not having services. It means that you've had to adapt to an online type of presence. And many people have asked the question, Ryan, can a church grow in the midst of a crisis? Can a church grow in the midst of this coronavirus? And my answer to that is a definite yes. With God, all things are possible, and also history is in our favor. If you look at the church in the midst of crisis, in the midst of persecution, that's when the church has grown the most. So get ready, get excited, and know that God is about to do something amazing in your churches. One of the lessons we've learned through this coronavirus is one of the lessons we need to learn in terms of church growth. And that's a little thing called priorities. Priority. You see, we need to make sure that we focus on what is the priority in our church. So this is what I'd like you to do. List 10 things, maybe this week, pray about it. List 10 things that you feel you need in the church in order to see church growing like you want it to grow. Then out of the 10 things, choose the number one thing that you believe is absolutely vital in terms of your church growth. Let's look at this coronavirus as an example of what I'm talking about. When we were all told that we were not allowed to have our church services, what was the number one priority that we all faced? Well, that was to get online. That was to change the whole setup of the church to make sure that we can still run services online. So the priority was number one thing only, get the church service to a place where we could stream it or upload it on the net. Now that was a priority. What did you do as a pastor? What did you do as a leader? Well, here's the things that you should have done. First of all, we need to gain experience. How do we gain experience? Well, get people with experience in that line. So we probably went on YouTube, went on Google. We researched how churches managed to get themselves online with, for example, a low budget. So that became the priority. What happened next? We got in the volunteers. We got volunteers to help us to make sure that this priority became a priority in our church. I believe that you did exactly the same thing. Well, church growth works exactly the same way. In normal church environments, there's certain things that we need in order to make our churches grow. For example, if you want to grow with families, ask yourself the question, if families is a priority, that means you got to have great kid facilities. You got to have baby changing facilities. You got to have mom's rooms, whatever you want to call it. You got to have those things in place. So if that is a priority in your church, well, make it a priority. Get people praying into it. Get expert advice. If you have a low budget, find out how other churches have created the space with a low budget. You need to get out there and find what the priorities is in your local church. Like, for example, during the coronavirus, as I've already said, we had to get online. That meant, once again, I repeat myself, you go and you research. Secondly, you gain experience. How do you gain experience? With people that have experience in your local church. You formulate a team to help you to make sure that this can happen. So I want to encourage you out there with a short message today. Simply put this way. Pastor, teacher, leader, elder of the church, whoever I'm speaking to today, go out, look at the 10 things that you feel that you need to make your church grow. Then choose the biggest, choose the most important thing, and let's make it happen. Pastor, leader, it's up to you. Find the priority, work it, make it happen in Jesus' name. Blessings, and see you soon.